Hello everyone, we'll be starting the webinar shortly. We'll just wait for another 60 seconds to get started. All right, so a very good morning to each one of you. My name is Shraddha and I'm from Iris Business Services, and I'll be the moderating today's webinar, which is Audit of ESEF Reports, All You Need to Know. Before starting this webinar, I would just like to thank you, each one of you who have logged in via the Zoom link as well as via the YouTube live streaming. So yes, getting started with this, I do have my colleague Anu. So yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Anu. So I think in the, please note that in the UK, we are operating if the trade name is Iris, Phoenix Solution. And we are not anymore connected with the Iris UK's, Iris group. We are delighted to have you with us here today for a webinar, and we thank all the participants who have joined us via the Zoom link as well as the, via the YouTube live streaming. So just a few housekeeping announcements ahead of getting started. All the participants are mute. So as we go along with the presentation, should you have any question, feel free to drop us a message in the Q&A section. And we will be monitoring the Q&A segments and we'll answer them when we have the Q&A segment. If you don't get to answer all your questions in this particular webinar, please feel, we'll get back to you differently through email as well. Once again, for who are joined in now, welcome for the webinar. I would like to introduce you to Anu, who is, the iXBRL expert and also a global customer engagement head for Iris Carbon. She wears a multiple hat at Iris Carbon and has close to 12 years of experience with ESEF and iXBRL reporting. She has worked extensively with the companies in the US, UK, Europe, and South Africa, getting them to speed on the compliance of regulatory reporting. Anuradha is also a key speaker in various ESEF conferences across EU and UK region. So I'll hand it over to Anu for the first set of presentation. Over to you, Anu.
Thank you. Thank you, Shraddha. A very good morning to everybody who's attending our webinar, both on the Zoom link and also on the YouTube streaming. I'd like to first introduce about our company, Iris Business Services Limited. So we are a company who's fully specialized in XBRL and iXBRL reporting over 17 years now. We work extensively with regulators in implementing XBRL as a standard. We work extensively also with enterprises and the big fours, accounting firms, audit firms, helping them comply with XBRL and iXBRL standards. And on the right-hand side, I'd like to show you a little chart that you can see here. So this is a quality ranking published in the US for the quality of XBRL filings that happens.
Anu, we can't hear you. Hello? Anu, you there? I think we lost a bit connection with her. Okay, I think she's having some connection problem, so probably she'll be joining in a bit. So yes, as she was talking about the quality of the our particular product, which we are topping almost every year on top. This is a kind of a independent quality analysis, which is done by one of a independent provider. So this is where you can see Iris is topping almost every year on the top. So so coming to the global presence, we are scattered from east to west, everywhere in the region, starting from the Singapore to the US to UK to Argentina as well. So these are the few, footprints of where we are. We work extensively with the regulators, of course, with the help of 400 plus experts, which are dealing with the multiple regulatory requirements in XBRL as well as iXBRL reporting. So this is just a select global clients list. We work extensively as with the partners. You can see on the first, first sheet, where we have also prime clients, which we work on the ESEF compliance, which is one of which is Color Group, Enel, Endesa, Nordicon. Also, some of the clients in US as well, cyber optic, electronics, image sensing. So these are just a kind of, to give you a glimpse of who all clients we deal with. Coming to our main topic of the today's press webinar is the ESEF, ESEF and its audit compliance. So let's understand the ESEF mandate first. As the mandate was supposed to kick in from the 2020 report from filing, but due to the pandemic situation, the mandate got postponed in few of the regions. But still, a few countries adopted the voluntary fees of filing, and they did comply with the 2020 reporting in the ESEF submission. So just to have a better idea what exactly ESEF mandate is all about, so let's understand in deep. Initially, in the European market, every company need to submit their documents in PDF format. But with this particular mandate, now companies are no longer to submit in the PDF format. They need to submit in a digital way of reporting, which is the iXBRL reporting. So what is the thing that we need to understand from the user as well as the auditor's perspective? Now, when the document is switching from the manual to the digital way, we need to understand the machine-readable layer of the particular document. We need to see what are the tags applied. We need to understand the technical specification of it. And of course, the underlying accounting principle also should be addressed too. So taking that all into mind, the ESEF mandate will give us a brief understanding on how the digital information will look like. Next is now the recently, the Committee of European Auditors, Oversight Board has issued a guideline on the auditor's involvement on the financial statements adopted on 9th November 2021. So what are the objectives that they have set here? So initially, there were no standards that are designed by the auditors committee on how they have to audit the ESEF documents. But due to this guideline, they have set up some objectives how the performance of auditors should be there in the ESEF compliance. So the objective here first is to understand the procedures that to be performed by the auditors to assess whether the financial statements included in annual report should be compliant with ESEF requirements. Also, the guideline says that the consequences of any misstatements identified should be addressed by the auditors. And the form and content of the audit report regarding whether the financial statements comply with the requirement should also be taken into consideration. The entire guideline you can view with the source link, which has already been mentioned in this particular slide. Now, along with the guideline, what they have also come up with a set of procedures that should be performed by the auditors. The first procedure is planning of auditor's work. Now, this is a very key responsibility and a key procedure that should be there when designing and planning the audit work for ESEF compliance. The auditor should consider the deadline within which they need to audit the ESEF documents. They should also understand the process for preparing the financial statements and its related internal controls. So which is the software tool which has been designed, or which is the software tool that they will be using for auditing the ESEF documents. They should also understand the XHTML format and also whether the financial statements are tagged in that particular format. Also relating to the markup of languages should also be taken into consideration. And reporting on compliance with ESEF in the audit report. So other key aspects of the procedure is also like the engagement letter, wherein every auditor should be having the engagement letter clearly defined what are the engagement activities that they'll be performing. The communication should be very transparent enough with the end company before basing their opinion on the audit report. So the communication should be done with their management on the ESEF compliance. The documentation work on any of the activities on the ESEF compliance should also be there. If the auditors wish to use an expert service or use an expert opinion, that also should be taken into consideration. The auditors also have the can go ahead and do the joint audit of the ESEF reporting. So wherein each and every auditor who is jointly working should be shared responsibility. They should review the reports of the ESEF together and base their opinion whether it is a true and fair view in their opinion. So with this set of procedures that should be there in the compliance part as well. Now from the auditor's requirement perspective, we need to understand once the document is ready, once the issuer has given a particular final zip document to the auditor for review, what is the thing that auditor should take into consideration? The auditor should thoroughly check the financial statements, whether they are in compliance with the ESEF mandate, also if they are compliant in the iXBRL reporting, and then they should review and give a sign off. Once the auditor review the basic phase of the report in a human readable manner, they should ensure that it has been prepared in a proper ESEF format. The tagging guidelines has been applied, the company taxonomy has been prepared, the anchoring relationships are identified, everything should be taken into consideration, and the auditor should make sure that everything is followed as per the ESEF requirements. The findings, which are already listed down in the guidelines that has been offered lately, is to consider two set of guidelines or the two set of annexures. First, Annexure 1 relates to the relevant statutory requirements. Like auditors should make sure and should be there, vigilant enough to base their opinion on all the financial statements that are prepared in a valid iXBRL format. They should also make sure that they are in accordance with the IFRS regulation as endorsed by the EU. And also there are certain risks attached to the markup information, which also the auditor should take into consideration. They should make sure that the completeness and accuracy of the information is maintained thoroughly in the ESEF compliance. Now let's understand how an auditor would make sure all the ESEF compliance is taken into consideration in every company very properly. So for that, what we have is an IRIS X-Audit solution, which is nothing but an XIR certified solution, which you're offering to all the auditors in the EU region. Let me, give you a brief understanding on the X-Audit solution that we are offering in the EU market. Our product is XIR certified, which is also collaborative in nature, which is a cloud-based solution wherein the auditors have the flexibility hosting options, if you want to go on cloud or on premises. The platform is multilingual in nature. It has also inbuilt validator, which takes care of all the latest ESEF specification and the guidelines rules also. The platform has intuitive features of accept, reject, raise comments on the platform, and also they can drill down the audit trails of all the line items. The platform not only supports the iXBRL reporting package as a whole for auditing compliance perspective, but also supports the standalone financial statements, which is nothing but XHTML document without tagging. So we also offer 24/7 support services for all the clients whom we work with. And of course, there are competitive pricing offers, which are available with the flexible models, which we can discuss separately. If anybody is interested, they can just drop us an email and we can get back to that. So with this, the next question would be how it works. Very simple, only 5 steps. First, once the auditor receives the final zip file from the end client, they just need to upload that particular document in our iXaudit platform, wherein they can review the iXBRL tags, its properties, the company taxonomy relevant to that reporting. They can validate the document and make sure it is as per the latest specifications, latest guidelines has been followed. They can also pull up a reports, which can give them a brief understanding on extensions, comments, or the tag values relationship. Once everything is done from step 1 to step 4, then the auditor needs to sign off on the document and it's ready to go to the submission. So with this, I would like you to walk you through the sneak preview of our platform, how the platform actually works in a live environment. So let me just go back to the screen. So here I'll be using a solution, which is nothing but a cloud-based solution. So wherein you will get the user credential, when you log in with the basic details. Once you log into the platform, what you will be able to see is a human-readable, So once you see, this is the main dashboard, wherein you will get to see a select company option, wherein the auditors must be working on a multiple set of clients. Say, for example, XYZ auditor has around 10 clients. So for that purpose, the auditor has to set up the credential in such a way that they have to create 10 set of companies in the particular platform, wherein the access of companies, they can design on their own. The user management is also available. They can assign multiple users to each and every document who need access and work accordingly. So once a particular company has been set up in the platform, what you need to do is that you have to simply click on a new project, define the project name, select test, demo test. There are 2 options or 2 projects tabs in which the auditor would like to audit their reports. One is the iXBRL way of reporting, wherein it will be the tagged annual financial statements, and one would be the non-iXBRL reporting, which will be without a tagging. So I would like to show you the one with an iXBRL option. From here, you just need to upload or browse the final zip package, which you will be receiving from the end client. And then you need to mention the end date, which is nothing but 31st March 2020. Once you have set up this credential, just upload. After the upload is done, what will happen is that now you will have a field that gets created with the project details. What is the reporting period? Who has created it? What is the role that I'm playing on the particular platform? What is the reporting period and status of that particular document? So once that gets loaded, you'll be able to see all the details on this dashboard. So if you can see, this is the name of the project created on with the date timestamp. I'm the project owner and the status is in progress. I have not yet started the activity. On this action icon, if you see, there are a few options available wherein I can assign multiple users to have access to this project. I can delete the project. I can download the zip file, which I have already uploaded here. For this version option, we are also working on this particular option where you can do a version comparison, going ahead on the document. So this is disabled right now, but it will be there in a next release version. So to get started, you just have to simply log the particular project, go and sign the project. Now what the system is trying to do is that they're reading the final iXBRL document and it is going to show you the human readable layer of the output. As you can see, this is the main document. It's a pretty looking document for the 2020 reportings. You can see the main page. You can see the statements. The auditor's job is to review each and every line item which is prepared in this particular statement. If you want to see what is the line item assigned to this particular value, click on the value. You can see the particular label element, the dates, attributes of that particular value. If you're happy with the tagging, what you need to do is simply go ahead and there are smart intuitive ways to approve, reject, or raise comment on the platform. The green one symbolizes you can approve the tag. Say for instance, you want to review this particular line item, which is cost of sales. And if you feel that's okay, the unit use is not proper, you can simply say reject. But you need to define the reasoning for that. Unit is not proper. And please a comment. So the minute you raise a comment or reject a particular line item, it will get triggered in a red color. Similarly, if you want to keep an item on hold, say for instance, there is this particular item which I'm not so sure. So what I can do, I can just keep it on hold for a while, right? You can mention need to recheck and change. So you see there are certain color codings that are defined in the platform which will help to understand what all activities you are performing on the document. So similarly, if you want to see the trail of that all the particular values, what you need to do is that, say for instance, this has been rejected, now I can accept it. So if I want to see the trail of this particular value, what I need to do in the property panel, there is a tracker option. You can click on this particular tracker and you can see first it was rejected with a comment and now it has been approved. So all the audit log trails are already available in the platform, which will help the auditors to review each and every line item and also make sure that all the items are addressed properly. Same way, if it is not only the auditors need to reply only on the values, but they also need to review or audit the company taxonomy. So here we have an option to view the company taxonomy. If you click on that, your company taxonomy will appear on your right-hand side, wherein the auditor can view the hierarchies, label, the ordering, the preferred labels assigned to each and every line item, and make sure everything is in line with your main balance sheet or income statement. Similarly, you can view the presentation, you can view the calculation relationship defined for that particular link. You can see how your profit loss is calculated, whether it is as per the annual report or not. If okay, if you feel the entire taxonomy has been designed as per the requirement as per the annual report, what you can do is that you can review or accept this particular link as well as an accept. So this way you can get to see the company taxonomy as well as your annual report in a one particular screen as well. Now, in the next option, what we have is the taxonomy. Set of taxonomies which are already integrated in the platform. The one set of taxonomy is nothing but the reference taxonomy, which is nothing but your ESEF 2020 taxonomy. So this will get preloaded in the platform with all these statements, with all the notes to accounts, which are already available and which if you want to search a particular concept, say like search for an asset, I can just type in and search all the asset related concept, which is this. It will take you to that particular location where the other assets is, and then you can click that and visualize the labels, the properties assigned or which are mentioned in this particular taxonomy. Same way, you can do the company taxonomy, which is also very important from the auditor standpoint to review and make sure the presentation, calculation, definition is in line with the ESEF requirements. If they want to visualize the balance sheet in detail, what they can do is that they can just expand the entire link and they can see the structure, how the assets are grouped, how are the liabilities grouped, and make sure everything is good to go. So to identify the extension concepts within the platform, what we have done is that we have added that particular concepts in a blue color, wherein it will give you a better understanding. This blue colored highlighted concept is nothing but an extension. So to make sure it is an extension, the namespace it will have, it will be the company's ticker symbol or trading symbol or company's name. Similarly, you can view it by ID as well, wherein representing as IFRS full but flowing reference taxonomy, whereas the specific ones are nothing but a company specific concepts. So this is how you can visualize all the extensions, all the line items present in the annual report. Same way, if you want to visualize the anchoring relationship for these extension concepts, you need to go to the definition linguist. Under this anchoring section, we'll be able to see how is the relationship defined for that particular extension concept, whether it has been anchored to a wider or narrow concept respectively. So the platform caters all the things that is required from the mandatory perspective as well as from the guidance perspective for the auditors. And it becomes easy for the auditors to view everything at a glance and base their opinion on. Also interesting, we have some reports which the auditors can pull up and use for as their working papers. If they want to see the reports on all the comments that are raised on the platform, they can just quickly click on the comment option, do a search, and they can see all the respective comments that are raised on the platform. Similarly, for the fact status report, if they want to see how many facts are reported, so in short, there are 380 line items or the facts that have been reported in this annual report. If you want to see everything in detail in an Excel file or in a PDF, it can be pulled up with this help of option. So this is how you can, pull up the reports and you can easily download. I have already downloaded a few of the reports for your reference. So this is how the fact status report will look like, wherein it will have the labels, the attributes, period, type, balance type, element name, the values, dimensions, unit scale, and also the status, whether who has accepted, on what time and by what. So these details gives us a better understanding from the auditor's standpoint. Similarly, if you want to pull up an extension report, this is how it will look like. You can get to see the element are raised an extension, the documentation, and also the anchoring relationship, to which base element it has been anchored, and what is the type of anchoring that has been defined. So you can pull up these reports and use as a reference for auditing purpose. So similarly, the next step of the assurance of all the line items within the report, but also they have to make sure that the ESEF document is in compliance with the latest guidelines, right? Or latest technical specification, latest, reporting manual guidelines. So when you go to the home screen, and if you click on this particular icon, which is a validation, it will now validate all the necessary things in the particular document and show up if there are any discrepancies reported in the annual report. So this is how you will be able to see all the discrepancies in the annual report. So just a minute, I think it's been loading. So the validations are also grouped into three major categories. One is your basic validation check, one is your specification check, and one is your calculation or calculation checks that are present in the report. So this is how you will be able to see all the reports. And of course, that particular report, you can also download it in Excel. Then you can see the basic checks, the quality checks, and the specification checks. So if you want to visualize the basic checks, if you see it's been passed. Quality checks, it says status as failed. So if you want to view what are the failed items here, you can go to the respective tab and see the detailed calculation that has been defined and what are the inconsistencies. So you can see here, value is this, reported value is this, and the difference is this particular value, which needs to be corrected in the report. Similarly, on going on the specification check, if there are any missing mandatory items, it will get reflected here. If there are any guidelines that has been not been added to, you can get to see in this particular guideline with the detailed, message of it for which guideline is missing and what needs to be done here. So all these specification checks are already taken into consideration and it has been available within the platform. So this way you should make sure, that's how the document will look like, in your ESEF compliance. So auditor's main job or responsibility is not only to see the entire human readable layer of the output, but also make sure the markup languages or the markup information is also added respectively. So in this particular if you see in the calculation inconsistency, if I want to see from where this value is coming in, I can just click on this particular value. It will navigate to the report where this particular value is reported. And I will get to see this particular value is nothing but a calculation of this plus this, which gives me a total resultant 357. Wherein if you see these two values are missing, that's the difference of this particular value. So this is how you should make sure the calculation relationships are also in line and they are not missing any calculation inconsistency. So that's how you can visualize the validation also in this particular software. Also, importantly, if I go back to the main dashboard area, once the document is entirely reviewed by the auditors, the understanding is that the auditor should, accept or base an opinion on that. So once the testing has been done on this particular set of document, they need to click on the status and change the status as is it in progress, it is audited, is it approved, rejected, or signed off. So say for instance, this has been approved by me and I have completely audited the report. I will click on audited and just mention as audited. So the minute you do this, the status of the document changes to audited. Similarly, if you want to go ahead and visualize the XHTML version of your document, what you need to do, you just have to load up the XHTML version of the document, which are applicable or which are mandatory in few of the regions. Say like in Germany, it is mandatory to audit the iXBRL report in an HTML document as well. So the platform caters for that requirement as well. You can upload the XHTML file. What you can see is the entire layer of the document where you need to verify along with the PDF report if everything is okay, everything is consistent. Once you have done that, what you need to do is that you go back to the main screen and simply you have to change here and say sign off. So same way, this gives you a proper trail or the workflow management. You can design and work accordingly on each set of the documents. So I think these were the major things that we have brought in the platform and which already been used by most of the auditing firms across European region. I think with this, I come to the end of my presentation. And with this, I would like you to, go and explain on this particular slide as well. So the next step of TT is like, if anybody is interested, we can, decide a test run on with the help of some sample documents and we can work accordingly. So I think with this, I come to my end of the presentation and happy to take any questions there are. Yes. I think if any questions anybody's having, I'm happy to answer. Anu, are you there?
Yes, yes, Shraddha.
Okay.
Sorry for interruption. I can see one of the questions asked here is while this overall ESEF is for consolidated financial statements, what happens if there is unconsolidated financial statements or individual financial statements? So the answer is, if you have individual financial statements, the tagging obligation doesn't exist, but that doesn't mean that you can continue submitting a PDF report. You will have to submit an XHTML report, and tagging is not compulsory. So I think that is one of the most frequently asked questions in webinars. So just wanted to kind of answer that question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there are no further questions. Maybe we can just move on to the next slide. If you have any further follow-on questions on any of the topics that has been discussed today, feel free to drop us an email and we'll be more than happy to answer. The email address is on the screen, info@iriscarbon.com. Over to you, Shraddha.
Yeah. Feel free to drop us an email if anybody is interested. Happy to, assist you on that.
Thank you and have a very nice day.
Thank you. Have a very nice day. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for your time. Bye. Thank you.